All right, there we go. The Tin Can Rebellion. And, if you really love that, there are other episodes on YouTube that you can go and check out. So we want to give others that may not have had a chance and would still like to share a story or a memory of Dr. Nick, open the mic and have you guys come on up and do that. I'll let you know what's happening. We're having more folks come in now. We're going to have a community potluck, which everyone is welcome to stay for. And then we're having a little goodbye party for Dave and I, and we're going to have lots of people playing on stage. And if you play music or sing, you're welcome to jump in and do that with them. So first of all, though, anyone else want to come up and share a memory or a story of Dr. Nick? Great.
Hi, I'm Jeff. I'm one of Nick's union brothers. And as much as I loved working with Nick at the Van Wezel or listening to him discuss the state of the world at our monthly union meeting, what I enjoy and will remember him most for was actually his puppets at the farmer's market. Pre-COVID, my wife and I used to take our son to the farmer's market a couple times a month. And he would always make sure, my son AJ would always make sure that he made it to the corner where Nick was so that he could see whatever puppets that Nick had chosen to bring that particular weekend. I should have asked AJ what his favorite was before I came tonight, but that was the highlight of our weekend in many ways, was taking our son to the farmer's market, and Nick was the highlight of that highlight for us for a long time. So that's what I will take with me about Nick. Thanks.
So I'm Mark, and I've been a volunteer here for a few years. I also met Nick out in front of Madison's there at the farmer's market. I don't know, most of the things you see down there, it's you see everything, but he had his own corner. He always had a group of people that stopped to look at that stuff, and I got to help him load his truck. We packed them puppets in, and he drove to Portland, Oregon. We packed them and everything else he could stuff in that truck. But he got to Portland, and I think it was maybe 48 hours later that truck got stolen. So whoever did that dumped the puppets out at one spot and took the truck down the road. As it turned out, the cops found most of the puppets. They got his truck back. He had family there that he hadn't unpacked it yet. You know, there was room for all that stuff. That's why he took it there, and he wanted to continue that. But I'm just very fortunate to call him a buddy, and we're all going to miss him. So.
So I'm Sarah Hernandez. When we first arrived to Sarasota and eventually had our child as well in 2002, indeed, there was not much at that time for little kids in the market. And that was the highlight for our child walking there, and particularly so with the piano. And I was always amazed how he was able to move that puppet with the music of the rhythm of the moment. And that was truly very, very impressive. And I think that was similarly as the story we heard before from a child, a very entertaining moment of always going to the corner to watch. And it was sometimes disappointing when there were changes in the puppets because we wanted to see the piano. But more importantly, in many of the messages that I've heard that resonate with me is the work he did with the bicycles and the art in the bicycles. each carrying a very particular message. And I'm thinking of our theater folks. With one of the dancers, he brought out a white bicycle by the theater, and in remembrance of the dancer. Walking downtown, again, ringing the bells for peace is one of those things that, to me, express the importance of somebody with the Dr. Nick's personality in providing for our town recognition of our community and the call for us to be with each other in bringing peace and creating this happy moment of seeing the beautiful colors and the diversity of our existence, our nature in our city.
Hi, my name is Amy Dawn. I hope I can do this. My husband and I were lucky enough to meet Dave and Arlene so many years ago and began volunteering with them at the original Fogartyville. And then we moved on and just so happened to live right around the corner from where the new radio station was going to be. From the ground up, we were able to paint and tile and fix just about everything in that home to make it what it was, which was awesome. And I met so many of you that this is a little combo because I have to leave after this, and I just love you so much. Dave and Arlene have been our family since before we knew what we were doing in life. And they have really helped guide us and saw us through many challenges and happy events and sad events too. And through that union, we were able to obviously meet Dr. Nick, the magic man that he is. And similar to those with children, he brought a lot of magic to our children at the farmer's market. And he brought a lot of magic to me working at Whole Foods. I would see him every morning before the store opened, or not every morning, but as he switched out the bikes. And it really started my day. My day could have been just crap, knowing what I was going to do that day. And seeing him just really shared that positivity and would not let anything get him down. I mean, and there's something that came about last year. My daughter had an opportunity in her creative writing class to kind of bring light to a famous artist. And so there was Monet and Picasso and everyone like that. And Simone chose Dr. Nick. And her creative writing teacher knew about the bikes, didn't know the man yet until my daughter was able to create this wonderful PowerPoint slide. And during that process, we pulled information off of the internet, but also Dr. Nick took quite a long time allowing us to personally interview him. He was already out in Portland. And he shared a lot of really incredible, touching stories with us. One, how he had a theater in the apple orchard on the property that they had. And his mother actually helped him make puppets when he was little, and he was able to perform his theaters in that apple orchard. He told us of the first bike that his father had gotten for him and fixed up, and Dr. Nick painted it yellow. He also shared that his love of tinkering came from his uncle's watch repair shop, where he was able to take things apart and put them back together again and make them work. So I think that gives some background to the creativity and what he where he started. I think now I will also share one quick bit that he shared. And when he was 17 years old, he said he was in the grocery store and it was like, how you described it was like a vile, almost like a vile humanoid spewed venom on him, at him, is how he said it. And it was an insult to his stature. And he said later he was at home and he was like still fuming about it, just really, that really got him upset. And that's when he had this epiphany that why was he so angry in his own space, his own personal space, where that other person who spewed that probably wasn't even thinking about him. They had moved on with their day, and instead he was holding on to that negativity. And he said that's when he had that wonderful epiphany. It was like, be positive, turn it around, why hold on to that? So more about the man. Part of her project, my daughter, was to write a biography about him, a short story, and 2 haikus. So I think I will share the poem because it is actually based on, and she had to provide the art that went with it. This one's based on one of his black and whites of all the musicians, the jazz musicians. I'm sure you guys have seen those. And this one she titled Music in the Air. 4 jazz musicians standing on a shiny black stage. The audience members applauding as they play soothing tunes. The swaying sound of the saxophone, the blowing horn of the trumpet, the ripple of piano keys, all combining in a sweet melody. The musicians finding the music in their minds and following it. The sounds travel around in the air, in between the audience's chairs, circling the chandelier hanging on the ceiling, making its way outside the windows into the open world. The song ends, and the musicians bow, saying their goodbyes for the night. But the song is never really truly gone, for it is still traveling to all the houses in the neighborhood and above the ground and into the starry sky. We love you, Dr. Nick.
Thank you, Amy Dawn. That was a fitting tribute, and he will not be gone. He will be with us. We have 2 of the relative series up here in the rafters. We have the radio bike that he built, and just recently, Mark Zampella brought in one of his more recent, the guitars that he painted, and so we'll be keeping that over at the radio station and keeping the spirit of Dr. Nick alive and all the good juju that he brought to all of us in his life. So thank you so much for coming out and sharing your memories with us. And like I said, feel free to stay and enjoy potluck with us as well. Thank you all. And if you haven't signed the guest book for his family, if you could please make sure that you sign the guest book at the door, that would be great.